I'm not knowing if too many people are realizing where our school and education systems are really brainwashing people to believe you're stupid. I was in the education system. I was a kid. I could see how fucked up it was. I was a brilliant person. Actually, in math, I always got math done perfectly, instantly. They didn't have to teach me. I did my homework while they were teaching the class. I always got 100%. Yet I had these arguments with my teachers because they would give me 99% and not 100%, because nobody is perfect, and we can't let anybody think they're perfect. It's like, wow, that's the logic our education system has, that if you're actually perfect at what they teach you, they're going to, give you a lower mark than what your learning level is at. And I noticed that a lot of them didn't even know what the hell they were teaching. They had this book that they were reciting off of that you had to just memorize. And if you didn't memorize something perfectly, that was the time that they got to say you were stupid. It's not about going to school and letting everybody know, hey, you're smart, you're smart, you're smart. It's about accelerating everybody's potential. And by no means does our education system even introduce to you that you have a potential. It's all designed by the corporate world. They want to fit you into the slot that they are designing you for. If you are a left brain thinker and your memory is really good at memorizing stuff, then you'll fit into higher levels of income. So, if you've got no imagination of your own, you'll excel and get a higher paying job, because you're really, really good at memorizing shit, but not to think for yourself. Because if you thought for yourself, then that qualifies you to be more of an inventor. But if you're an inventor that isn't globally connected to, oh, how is my good idea going to affect the planet, then you can manipulate people to buy what they think they need. Generally, if you're an inventor, you need to market your stuff. So then you need to use the skills of somebody that's been manipulated to think they're smart into manipulating people to buy your stuff when they don't really need your stuff. You just got rich out of manipulating people for nothing. Nothing that you were a genius at, but somebody's going to think you're a genius at something, when you're not. You're not. As a scientist, we don't teach people how to be global thinkers, which is why we can pollute and not be concerned about the pollution and the destruction we have on our planet. Now, there's great motivation. The smartest people on the planet, from my point of view, are the ones that don't, they can't be conformed to the education system. Um, while they have a greater level of intelligence, they are being told that they're stupid. You know, they're made to believe that they are dumb, because, and then they will be falling into the dumber level jobs like the factory workers, where they're doing the same thing over and over again, just earning their paycheck. Just leave me alone, and I'll take my pay and try and have my imagination and enjoy my stuff through manufacturing. I'm not going to be part of any solution because nobody wants to listen to anything I got to say. They're you know there's a lot of encouragement in our education systems to ensure a lot of people fail. They require more people to fail in our education systems to take our labor type jobs that require no thinking. Just do what you're told, and we'll make it automated so you don't have to think. And how you're made to fail is causes much friction, as much conflict within your families. As long as you're at war, as long as there's divorces, as long as there's as much conflict going on in your house, then you can't do well at school. As long as your household doesn't have the finances, it has struggle, then you cannot be in a learning environment and actually be successful at it. So a lot of that is the great great doctors, the great great psychologists, they're all trained to train you that when you go in and get help to try and solve any type of problems that you have, if you kind of notice, I've noticed with counselors and psychologists, all they do is tell you cope and deal, focus on the positive, don't solve any problems. Your life will be better if you just cope and deal, focus on the problem or the solution. What makes you happy in the moment. Don't deal with any problems, don't solve any problems because no problems can be solved in this reality. So then you buy into it. You're so desperate to experience a better life that you fall for the trap of just focus on what's good about it, and you'll end up in a lower paying job and do the factory work that some rich CEO is like, look at how genius I am, let me go support a school system. So that's where our education system is right now. It'll fuck you up big time. It'll fuck your kids up. It doesn't matter whether you're doing homeschooling or not. The program is still there. You're still being the one that has to do the labor of a teacher and be the parent. But what is it you're ultimately teaching your child? What the system wants you to teach them. You're not teaching them how to be free thinkers because you don't have the material to teach that information. I know personally, I was in 4 kids, had them in the school system. The school system was completely corrupt. My children did not do well in the school system. They failed. I did the homeschooling thing. Again, they didn't do all that well. Mind you, I had one daughter that was 3 years old. She could type 20 words a minute. She was none of all of my kids were brilliant because I taught them that they were brilliant. I taught them to be out of the box thinkers, but they didn't have a society that would be accepting of new ideas and new concepts. And their form of survival right now is trying to figure out how they can fit in within this social structure that we have. They're going definitely for the just find what's good about it and try and make it work. Love, love, love my kids. They've got brilliant minds. They've got brilliant ideas that if society supported their brilliant ideas, they would definitely be a good benefit to humanity. My daughter today is just taking her exams to get into college. She's going to be taking her high school and going into environmental studies. um, it's no surprise that she's going to, her interest is the environment. She doesn't necessarily need an education. She's got to go and get all of the friggin' brainwashing from all of the education systems just to get that piece of paper that says, hey, I'm worth something. She's a little smarter than that. She knows that she needs to get the paperwork. It's just filling up time right now. Um, there will be information there that she can learn from, but she also has a stronger head and knows how to access better information than what the education system does. But she's going in through her education system just to be a test, try and see if you're going to get manipulated by them or follow your own path. Are you going to be stronger than them? Can you play the game and still get a high mark and still know your value without, if your mark isn't as good, are you still going to know you're brilliant? Use that test. See if you can actually learn to memorize something and know how to just dump and burn it, but get that piece of paper because that's what our system wants. But when she gets that piece of paper, when she does get into a position of authority or collects whatever money she needs, some of her environmental solutions will be life changing, but her environmental changes are not going to be taught through the education system. She's 19, she already knows an awful lot of answers, but the society says you're too young, you know shit, so they're not going to listen to any of her ideas. So she's basically, learning her way of trying to fit within this economic system until we end up unfolding, an acceptance of something completely different. So if you know what our education system is and you know the game, then you won't be fooled by the game. But as long as you are completely unaware of the game, then you'll get brainwashed into it and you'll be doing somebody else's path and not your own path. You might be an inventor, but the way you invent and get it on the market is going to be the same system over and over again. So, awareness is power. But there's our education system for you. Brainwashing at its peak, and it's done at our children who are the most vulnerable, who want to know that they're good but will only find out how no good they are until they're brainwashed into believing stupidity. It's total insanity. Peace out.